D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So I watched Stargirl, season 2, episode 1, and it was a pretty good episode. It was a little slow and everything, but I think that the action at the end and like what they're setting up was really, worth it. Um, before I get started on my review and my breakdown, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like mine get pushed to the back of the line. So I please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. I also ask that you do this to any of the other small YouTuber. We're all just trying to make it out here, and I'm pretty sure they would appreciate the same. So let's get started on this review and breakdown. So I really liked this episode in the sense that listen, was it the best episode of Stargirl? No, but I really liked Stargirl. I think it's a good show on CW. I think that and Superman and Lois are the only good shows right now on the CW. But yeah, I really like it a lot. I think it's great. This Breck Bessinger, is that how you say her last name? It doesn't even matter. She does a good job as Stargirl, and the show is pretty good. So this one, it just starts to set up stuff for this season. There was a good fight sequence in it, and we'll get into that a little bit later with Green Lantern's daughter, Jade. I'm glad that they're introducing more JSA members, the new ones, JSA 2, 2.0. And I like that they've introduced her, and she seems she's very pretty, and it seems very cool that they're going to have a Green Lantern on the show. And we'd seen that in the trailer and everything, but it's just cool that they're kind of setting that up, and we'll get more characters and everything like we saw from the trailer. Like we're getting Thunderbolt for sure, because I think Jakeem was mentioned he was mentioned in this episode, and he becomes I think it's Jakeem. It doesn't even matter, he's not here, but yeah, they're setting that up, and they're setting up the more members of the JSA, and there's some other stuff in here that I was like, I don't know if I like that or not, but at the same time I got it. So yeah, so why don't we go ahead and get started on breaking down this episode, and I'll give you my commentary while we break it down. So it starts off in Indiana decades ago. It said, didn't give us a time. And this there's a party going on in this house across the street from this house. Okay. And this little girl standing in the window, she's, Mom, I really want to go to that birthday party. And she's like, no, you threw a fit in the store because and she's like, but I really wanted that doll. This I totally get. As a child, my mother would always say, was if we didn't have money to get something at the store, she'd always tell us, we're going window shopping today. And that meant we're going to go to the store and you can look at all the toys you want, but we're not going to get anything because we don't have money for that this week, kind of thing, which is understandable now that I'm adult. But as a kid, you freak out and everything. I do the same thing with my kids. We can go and I'll be like, you can look, but we're not going to get anything today and everything. And then we do stuff in my house a little bit differently. Anyway, so she's all bummed that she's got to sit on this porch because I don't know if throwing a fit at the store was worth her not being able to go to a birthday party, but at the same time, not judging. That's her parenting skills, not mine. So then all of a sudden you hear like this weird laughing thing, and you hear these weird whispers like and everything the whole time. So this little boy shows up and he's like, hey, I'm whatever my name is. Cute kid. Both these kids are cute. He's like, I just moved in. Hey, you want to go to the party? And she's like, my mom said I couldn't. She's like, well, she's not looking. Let's go. And right before she goes, a truck passes, and I knew it was going to happen, but I still got I was like, oh, and everything. I knew it was going to happen. I just knew it. So she runs over there and she's standing there and she sees the presents. And then the little boy shows up behind her, which I would have been like, hey, kid, you're freaking me out. Okay. I'm a child and you're scaring this child. Okay. You're a child. I'm a child. You're scaring me. I don't like you. He's like, go take one of her presents. And she's all like, but I can't. And she's like, no one's looking. I bet one's a doll. So she runs up, she grabs one from the porch, which don't steal stuff, kids. It's not worth it. I used to be a little klepto when I was a kid. I stole everything. Oh my goodness. That was so horrible. I hated it. Don't steal stuff. It's really not worth it. So she's starting to open up. He's like, what is it? And everything. And you can tell this kid's creepy. Good. This little kid the girl did a good job, but the little boy did a really good job acting here. Good for him. She opens it up and it's this creepy doll, and its eyes glows red, and she drops it, and it's a real doll. And this little boy's like, you stole that. And he gets his face all ugly, and then he pulls up the diamond. So he's Eclipso. And then her mom comes out. She's all like, Maribeth or whatever her name is. And she's like, she sees the house across the street, and she's like, and she walks over there because she's going to yell. She's going to get mad. And then she sees her daughter. Obviously, her daughter is dead, and she starts screaming. And then we boom back to normal times. And Stargirl is patrolling the town. That's one thing I don't like about the show. She's patrolling a town, and I'm just like, how big is this town? Because they make it seem like it's a very small town, and if that's the case, like, you know, and her teammates get annoyed with her, but you don't need to be patrolling and everything. So there's a raccoon and everything. She's like, you guys, and she's like, hey, Goggles, do you see anything? Beth is my least favorite character out of all of these. She's so obnoxious, but at the same time, I kind of feel for her in this episode. So anyways, so she's all like, Beth, do you see anything? She's like, nope, and everything. So then they're sitting there like, no, there's nothing going on here. The Injustice Society has been defeated. No more bad guys are around. We need to calm it down. Sorry, it's very early for me. And she's like, fine, maybe we can put our going out at night from 7 nights to 6 nights. And they're all like bummed and everything. Like, I don't want to do this anymore, kind of thing. So she's like, fine, I'm going to do one more round. So then back at her house, she's studying up on villains from the JSA files. Pat comes down. He's like, what are you doing? It's 4 a.m. Have you been up all night doing this? And she's all like, yeah. She's like, we need to, you know, and she's asking about all these very D-list, maybe even E-list villains, which is fine and everything. But I just go like, you know, what's going on here? Because and then he's like, you know, you can't spend your whole life doing this. You defeated the ISA. You know, you're good. Stop doing this stuff. You this can't take over your life, kind of thing. So he tells her to go to bed and everything because she's got some school in the morning. And then the Green Lantern starts to glow and everything. And I was like, ooh, and everything. So the next day he's planning out a trip and he tells his son, he's like, we're going to, what's the Yellowstone National Park. He's like, my dad took me there after I graduated middle school. And I'm all like, what? Who, like, these people, don't get me wrong, I love tradition and everything, but they, you know, some parents, they just do some cool crap with their kids. And I'm all like, I hope I can afford to do all that stuff, but they have a nice house. So he's all like, no, I want to get started on building. I want to get into the family business of building the robot. I want to be Stripes one day. And he's all like, you know, that'll take time. And then the mom comes in and neither one of them want to leave for this 2-week vacation at Yellowstone National Park. And so they get outvoted because the dog votes with them. Listen, if we took a vote in my house right now, my dog would not chime in. So it's like, you know, I'm fine with it because it's a TV show, but sometimes I'm just like, can these TV shows just be a little bit more realistic? Like the dog would not chime in, but it's fine. So they're going on this trip. Then Beth is trying to get Dr. Mid-Nite, Chuck, back up and running. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you. Okay. So the little girl at the beginning on the mailbox, and I didn't grab a screen shot, and I'm sorry about that, you guys, but it said, Nidler, and that was their last name. And then this is Dr. Mid-Nite's last name also. So Beth is she's trying to reprogram the Dr. Mid-Nite AI to come back online, Chuck, because she misses her friend. Oh, Mick Nidler. Sorry, I'm Dr. McNidler. So, but it doesn't work. It fails. So her parents come down and they're late. She makes them breakfast and they're like, oh, thanks, honey. Her parents don't treat her like normal parents should. Like they should be more supportive and like happy. I mean, their daughter made them breakfast, like eggs Benedict and French toast sticks. I'm telling you right now, if my kids in high school made me breakfast every morning and lunch and stuff, I'd be all like, you are the best kid ever. Okay. I freaking love you. And they don't make enough time and everything. And that's why they're getting a divorce because they obviously don't know how to manage their time well. Anyways, so she's bummed about that. Then we go over to what's his face. And he's going through the woods because he sees a tree down and he's going through and he sees these bottles and everything. And then he finds a big footprint. So it's obviously Solomon Grundy. And he defeated Solomon Grundy in the last season, in the last episode and everything. So I don't know what's going on here. Maybe he's trying to find a friend. I don't know if I like this, but I'm going to watch it. And I trust that they'll play it out to be, you know, good. So then Yolana, she's feeling guilty because she killed psychic power guy. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. It doesn't matter. Anyways. And she's going to confess and everything, but he's all like, are you going to speak today, child? And she's like, if it's okay, I'd like to just sit here, please. And she's crying. She's obviously she has guilt about killing him. Totally understandable. Killing someone, I bet, is not easy. unless you're like a psychopath. So she gets like these weird things or whatever. And she's scared. And then the priest comes on. He's like, "Are you okay, my child?" And she's like, "Yeah." So she leaves. So she's obviously, it's going on in her mind. And Stargirl, Courtney, she's all she can do is bitch about how she's got to leave for 2 weeks on vacation. Oh no, you poor thing. And Ilana's all like, "Maybe we need a break, Court." And she's like, "Are you okay?" And she's sitting here and she's feeling really guilty about it, about killing him and everything. And she's like, "Do you think I did the right thing?" And she's like, "I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know and I mean, listen, she had to kill that dude or he was going to kill her. Brainwave. She had to kill Brainwave or he was probably going to kill her. So it's like, listen, sometimes, you don't want to kill somebody. I'm talking superhero talk, by the way, not real world stuff. This is all superhero stuff. So calm down. Okay. So they see what's his face, Jordan. I don't remember his name. Icicle 2, because he's going to become the new Icicle. Ooh, it's going to be so good. So he's, talking to this woman and everything. And we find out later he's just going to he's going to repaint this wall for his dad or whatnot. And she's like, "Do you think I should tell him?" And Yolana's like, "No." She's like, "What do you think is going to happen?" She's like, "You need to leave him alone. Because what do you think is going to happen when he finds out that we killed his dad? Like, yeah, it's not going to be good." So then Pat gets this guy, Skipper. I don't remember his name. Sorry. I'm sorry I don't remember these names. I didn't write them down, and I'm just trying to, whatever. Anyways, and he's telling him, he's like, "While I'm on vacation, can you work on these cars for me?" He's like, "Oh, yeah." And then he's like, "What's in there?" And he's like, "That says employees only." He's like, "Is that the lunchroom?" He's like, "No, it's actually just storage. If you could stay out of there and everything." And he's like, "This is a really great partnership." And Pat's like, "This is not a partnership, buddy." Then back at the high school, this kid passes his test and she's all like, "You got every single question right. How is that possible? It's, you cheated." She's like, "You're going to sit here and take last year's test and I'm going to watch you do it and everything." And he's like, he's like, "No, I saved this city, this town. I saved you." And she's like, "What are you talking about?" Because nobody knows. And he's like, "You know what? Fail me. I don't care," kind of thing. And she's like, "I will," and everything. And I'm like, uh, what are you talking about? Like, sometimes people suck. So then she's sitting here talking about time travel and everything. And Yolana's all like, "Yo, you need to calm it down. Okay, Courtney, because you're like freaking out over everything." And she bumps into the ex-principal's son, and he is going to be the new fiddler and everything, because she was the fiddler. Or at least he's gonna be the new fiddler. All the kids are gonna be the new whatever. Their parents were the first bad guys. So Beth is in here. She's bummed that her parents are getting divorced. Totally understandable. I feel bad for her. That's never okay. I mean, my parents are still together, so I don't know what she's going through or anybody that does that's going through, but I feel bad for her. So then Tigress, not Tigress. This is Artemis. There's their daughter. She's all talking about how her parents are in jail, and she's like, "They were totally set up." And she turns around and goes to hand the stick to another player, but we don't know that and everything. But Courtney thinks she's attacking her, so she flips her over, and she's like, "What are you doing, you psycho?" And she's like, "What are you doing?" She's like handing, this guy his hockey stick back, and she's all like, "Oh." So the principal pulls her aside, calls her parents and everything, and he's all like, "What happened today?" And she's like, "It's a misunderstanding." And Pat's all like, "Well, it's what we call an old-fashioned cat fight and everything." And they're like, "What are you talking about?" And then he's like, "You failed English and history. You got to do summer school to become a junior." Then her mom's all like, "I'm really bummed. You messed this up. Is putting on that mask worth losing everything else? Because, that's what's going to happen. You're going to ruin your life." And she's totally right. Listen, graduate high school. It's not that hard. Okay. And people that say it's hard, you're not trying hard enough. I'm sorry. Like, that's just how that is. And then Pat's all like, "What are you doing?" kind of thing. And he's all like, "You need to stop this." Then we go over here and Starman, he is got this bar and he's talking to this waitress, and she's all like, he's like, "I need to find your ex-husband." And she's like, "Which one?" And he's like, "The one that likes stripes." So he's looking for stripes. Then we go over here and she's all like, "I'm gonna go talk to him." So I can't remember his Icicle 2. I can't remember his name. Sorry. It's such a DC thing to call him Icicle 2. So it's like in the new Suicide Squad, calling her Ratcatcher 2. I love it. Anyways, so she's all talking to him. He's all like, "I'm going to do this mural." And then the grandparents are like, she's like, "I want to tell him how evil that girl is and everything." And he's all like, No, he's smiling. Don't bother him, kind of thing. It's very cool. I like these grandparents. I like them because they're so evil, but they're like old. It's so cute. Anyways, so back Pat finds this skipper guy or whatever the hell his name is. I don't know. He found the robot. He's like, you got yourself, I made yourself a robot. Sometimes you just need to make yourself a robot. And I like this character. He's a little annoying if it was a real life, but the fact that he's on the show and he's annoying Pat, it's pretty funny. He's like, I built a flamethrower out of a BB gun and a propane tank. He's like, that's what this thing needs. A flamethrower. He's like, I'm gonna go get my tools. And I'm like, that's funny. I like this guy. He's like, this is a great Zeke. Yeah, this thing says Zeke. I'm gonna call him Zeke. Anyways, he's like, this is a great partnership. And he's like, it's not a partnership and everything. I was like, oh, let Zeke help. Zeke seems like a good time. I like Zeke. He's, in real life, I'd be like, Zeke, you need to go away. You're annoying me. But in this show, I'm all like, yay, Zeke, stay around. Anyways, so then this guy, I need to write people's names down. Like, I don't remember this guy's name. Rick. Yeah, Rick. Anyways, he brings Solomon Grundy 3 buckets of chicken. Look at him. It's not Popeyes though, so it's not the best and everything. So then back at Beth's house, she sets up. God, Beth sets up dinner for her parents. It looks good too. She's got a salad and like back there, she's got, look at all them fixins. Oh, that looks delicious. Beth, you're a good kid. Why do these parents not appreciate these kids? If my kid cooked me dinner like this, I'd freak out. I'd be all like, I'm not giving you enough allowance. Anyways, so she's bummed. Her mom calls and says, I'm going to be late at the doctor at the hospital, and she's bummed. But the goggles come back on. They like bzz, 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 and everything. And Chuck's like, hello, hello. She's like, Chuck, it's you, Chuck. And he's like, who is this? He's like, it's Beth. I missed you, Chuck. And then he goes away. He's like, I don't know you. And then he turns off and she's like, Chuck, please don't go away. And I'm all like, I don't like Beth, but I feel bad for her here. Her parents getting divorced. Chuck was a good friend to her, even though it was like a computer program. So weird. But that was her friend. And I feel bad for her here. Then Courtney's sitting in her room and she's still studying these JSA files. And me, I just go, listen, you're not like, at what point in time in real life would you just be like, all right, I need to take a break from this? Because me, it would be like almost right away. I'd be like, all right, and like maybe a week or two afterwards, I'd be all like, keeping up the defense and everything. But then after that, I'd be like, all right, we can slow it down a little bit. But she's obviously not. And I don't understand that portion of the program. But she hears something downstairs. So she goes downstairs in her house and she sees somebody taking the Green Lantern. And they get into a big fight. And this fight was very cool, although they destroyed their house pretty much. It was very cool. I liked seeing it. It was awesome. They both use their powers. She blasts her back with the Green Lantern powers. That's a good shot right there. And then she's all like, with her Green Lantern powers and everything. And the parents come in, they're like, what is going on? She's like, it's a misunderstanding. And he's like, that's been a lot going on these days. And then I think he says something like Green Lantern's daughter, or the girl says, I'm coming to get my dad's Green Lantern. I don't remember. Anyways, so then back at the high school at night, right? Back at the high school, gosh, what is her name? This is Sydney. I don't remember her name off the top of my head. I should have written it down. She goes into the JSA's little compartment and she goes down to the basement and she's standing there and she pulls out a file. She's got a little file and she pulls out all of the new ISA 2.0 members, possible members. This kid died. So, and she tears up his picture. I can't remember his name. Then she gets out Artemis's picture. Then she pulls out this kid's. I don't know this kid's name. I never knew this kid's name. But the new fiddler, the Icicle 2 picture. And then she pulls out Pet's son's picture. And I was like, because I don't know if this kid's in the comic books. Again, I don't want to sit here. I know about the JSA and I knew about it before this. I am not an expert. I'm like, I know like I have a couple comic books, but like a couple of JSA comic books. And I don't know very much about this. Like I know enough about this team. Like if you asked me, I could tell you, and it would be like Wikipedia information, but in my head. But I hate when people like stuff like this happens, and then they like Google something, and they're all of a sudden they're like, you know, experts on the JSA and the ISA. And I'm like, get out of here. You didn't know this crap before. You only know it now because you Googled it. Stop. You're a normie. Stop it. Okay. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm an expert on it because I'm not. And she's all like, and she pulls up the Eclipso diamond, and he's all like, I'm at your service. And she's like, we've got some recruiting to do. And he's like, yes, we do. And they both start laughing, and then it goes purple. Now I just hold on. I want to pull up this fun little picture right here of these two. So now I really liked this episode. I thought it was really good. There was a lot of talking, and I totally get that because we're trying to set this up, but they set up the bad guy with Eclipso and everything. They set up, they didn't set up Shade, because he's coming, because we saw that from the trailer, so I'm not giving anything away. They set up that they're doing the ISA 2.0 with all the kids, which I like it a lot. I like that portion of the program. I want to see them fight again. And I think that this show is really good. The writing is solid. The action is solid. The effects are solid. Everything is solid, in my opinion. And it beats some of the shows on the CW way out of the water. Like, some of the shows suck. Like, I don't like Batwoman. Batwoman's the worst show possible ever written for the CW. And I don't like The Flash. Any of the shows that are on right now, I don't like them because they're just not good. But this show is solid. So is Superman and Lois. But I can't wait to see next week's episode. I wonder what's going to happen. I want to see what's going to happen. You know, I want to see the progression of the new ISA 2.0 with all the kids, with how they use their powers. Will we get like a montage like we did in season 1 with the JSA 2.0, where they all became who they were with their powers, but with the ISA, like flip the switch and see what that's all about? We probably won't. They'll probably just like do a recruiting episode, and then the next episode they're all fully costumed and ready to go, like knowing how to use their powers and everything. And like 4 months later, I'll be like, you guys could have done a montage at least, you know, montage man kind of thing. But tell me, what did you guys think about this episode? Did you like this episode? Did you not like this episode? Who is your favorite JSA member? I think I like Stargirl the best. She's pretty awesome. You know, what do you think is going to happen with Eclipso? And do you think Shade's going to show up the next episode, or do you think we're just going to, you know, get Eclipso and what's her face for a little bit while? Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. You know, I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys on the next Stargirl episode. You guys have a good week. Bye.